Alright guys, Aiden here. Round 4 review, AFL Fantasy. So we scored 1638, which is a solid score. I'll definitely take it. Team value 13.82 mil, so yeah, we're going up in money, which is good. Those rookies are making lots of cash, which is good, so we can downgrade them on later on in the season. Round 4 ranking of 10k. Doesn't look too great. But we did move up in our overall ranking quite a bit, so as you can see we're ranked about 16,800. So we were ranked 22,000 last week, so we've gone up quite a bit, which is good. So pushing for the top 10,000 would be our aim at this point in the season. But let's get into my team and how we went. So Bashahuli, 85. Not quite sure who they played. Let me go check. So yeah, Richmond played St Kilda. Yeah, I didn't watch the game, so I can't comment much on Bashahuli's scoring. But he managed to get an 85, which is equivalent to 100 and 107 maybe. So, definitely one of the top 3 defenders, if not top 2. It's either him or Doherty in my eyes, and Jake Lloyd's also competing there. So he was really good, and he's been really solid this season. If we take a look at his stats. I don't think he's gone under 80, which is, yeah, so he's gone 100, 86, and 85, which is basically a ton in each game. So really good stuff from Bashahuli. He's quite expensive right now, so maybe wait for him to have that odd game out where he does drop in price. But if you do have the luxury to bring him in, definitely do so, because he's a top 2 defender in my eyes. And he's probably Richmond's best fantasy player. He's always looking for the +6s, which is good, and he gets above 20 disposals every game, which is good signs. So he likes to take the game on, and Richmond love the ball in his hands. So I really like Bashahuli. He also provides a really good captain option for the VC this week. If you don't have someone like Andrew Gaff, Elliot Yeo, or Luke Shuey, or Prestia, players like that, Bashahuli provides a good option this week. So going on a bit about Bashahuli, but let's get into Sam Doherty. 110, really good stuff from Doherty. For a player that's not played footy for 2 years and has come back, and he's dashing out scores above 80, which is really impressive. And he's gone 110. I think he had about 32 disposals, so he was probably Carlton's one of the best on ground for Carlton. Him and Cunningham had a really good game, and his scoring shows that with the 110. So season keeper. He's a top 2 defender, so if you don't have him, you're doing fantasy wrong, but make sure to get him in. Lachie Weller, 61, I think that's about a 70, 75-ish, maybe in real scoring. That's not too great, to be honest, but he's been really good for me in the last couple of weeks. So he's got a 95 and then an 86, so I'm not expecting 80s from him every week, so I'll pass on that, take the 61. Saying that, not many Suns players had a great game in round 4. I'm not sure who they played. So they played Freo, and it was quite a tough scoring game for many Suns players, so that's that. Brodie Smith was fine, 73. I'll talk about my trades later on, but I might look to trade him on this week. He got many of his points from kickouts, so he was taking most of the kickouts for Adelaide Crows. I think he got about maybe 25 points just from kickouts itself. So if you take away the kickouts, he would have got about a 50, which is quite poor. But saying that, he's got back-to-back 73s, which is good signs. So if you do have him, hold him for the moment. But I'll talk about my trades later on. Brandon Starcevich, 46. I'll take it. Solid score for a rookie. Saying that, he was on 40 at halftime, so 6 point second half. Bit disappointed, but still a solid score overall. Rivers is good. He provides lots of spark for Melbourne. Should hold his spot. Seemed really good, so I'll take a 44. And Brander was impressive again for the Eagles, 46. His marking ability is quite remarkable. He's quite an underrated player. If he has more presence on the stage, I think he'd be a really good talent in the future. Butler was really good on debut. It took a bit of a punt bringing him in, but 43, he should hold his spot. He didn't do much wrong, so he definitely should hold his spot, and he provides a bit of bench cover for you guys. And if you look to field him, he's not a bad option, but I would definitely go Starcevich and Rivers over him, as well as Brander. So that's my defence. Now let's get into the midfield. So we brought in Lachie Neale. Those were my trades, by the way. Lachie Neale for Quinton Narkle. Obviously, Narkle being selected as an emergency. Houston, we traded him out for Butler and Jacobs for Pitternet. Um, so Lachie Neale, absolutely superb. Was tagged by Keys for the majority of the game, but managed to break through and still get more than 30 disposals. Had 6 behinds, which is quite unlucky, especially if you had him in a multi. But yeah, 123, really solid score, and he's not gone under 100 this year, so he's the best player in the comp at the moment. The way he's playing, he's going to win the Brownlow for sure, and probably another 2 or 3 votes for me, and he's definitely leading the Brownlow at the moment. So if you don't have him, I would do whatever you can to pay up. He's 900k now, so it's quite expensive, but do whatever you can just to pay up to get him. He's a gun. So 123. Also be aware his fixture in the next couple of games is quite rough. He's got Port round 5, which is Port have been a tough team to score against. But Gaff did perfectly fine, so I don't see why he won't. And then he's got Collingwood round 6, and round 7 he's got Sydney. So a couple of tough games coming up for Lachie Neale, but saying that, he hasn't gone under 100 this whole season, and he's probably the best midfielder in the comp. Stephen Connealy, not quite sure what happened here. His teammate Lachie Whitfield, we'll talk about him in a second, scored much better than him. Stephen Connealy, I think he drifted forward for the majority of the game, and he lacked the scoring ability. Wasn't doing well up forward, and then they pushed him back into the midfield, and he couldn't seem to rack the ball up. So he's been pretty average, getting 70s for me this season. He might be one to look to trade this week, and I'll talk about my trade plans later on. But yeah, really poor effort from Connealy, 35. You just can't have that. It's really disappointing. Lachie Whitfield is great. He bounced back well. Also, he dropped about 40k, which is still underwhelming, but 88 is a good score. Definitely take that, and he looked much better. So probably next week, lots of players going to look to bring back Lachie Whitfield as he does drop in price. His break-even's still pretty high, so give him one more week before bringing him back in. But I don't see why he shouldn't score an 80 this week. Plays Hawthorn, last game of the week, so he should be fine. Tom Mitchell, 78, was on about 60 something at 3/4 time, so he should have got to 80. But I'll take a 78. He's been solid. His tackling was up and about, so that's good. He got about 8 tackles, which is pretty solid. Brayshaw, 53. Now, he has been a real disappointing player for many fantasy coaches this season. We thought he would play in the midfield, and he has shown glimpses of playing throughout the midfield. He's just not scoring well. His time on ground's low, so if you guys do have him, he would probably be a number 1 trade for me and for many fantasy coaches. His scoring is low, his time on ground's low, he doesn't look like he's getting involved in the game. So look to trade him out, as I will be doing this probably this week, if not next week. Matt Durrell, 78. He was on 81, and then he got a -3 taken away from him. Bit stiff there, but really good score. I think let's see how much he went up in price. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, he's been an absolute gun. Yeah, 77k. Wow, he's made heaps of cash for us, considering he started at 270k. He's probably a season keeper at this rate. So he's gone 100 back-to-back 100s and a 78. That's really impressive. Potentially a season keeper. We'll see how he plays in the next couple of rounds. He's got Geelong this week, so tough matchup. We'll see how he goes. Anderson was fine, 56. He had a 38-point quarter, and apart from that, he was really poor for the other 3 quarters. But I think he's a safe 50 to field every week, so I do like him. And McKerney, I was really happy with the way he started on the Thursday night against the Dogs. I think he played 100% time and ground in the first quarter and was on 25, which is really good. And he only had 25 for the rest of the 3 quarters. But yeah, 50, I'll definitely take it. Probably not too confident fielding him this week. And I'll talk about my trade plans because they do involve Caleb Sarong coming into the side. But yeah. Marlon Picken obviously didn't get selected, so it's stiff there. And Tyler Brown was poor with a 30. Really poor, Tyler Brown. Might get dropped this week, we'll see. Grundy was great as captain, really good. 117. Can't ask for much more. It's either him or Lachie Neale. So I lost about 12 points overall. but that doesn't really matter. Grundy was really good. Pitternet on debut, 63. Look, I'll take it. Considering how bad he started, he bounced back really well. So I think he was on like maybe 13 at half time, 13 and a quarter time, or something like that. So he started off poor, but he got his way into. He found himself and got himself into the game, which is good. Exari 32, which is good for bench cover. Forward line, Petrarca 76. Look, I'll take it. He's one of the best players for Melbourne. Wingard was good as well, 87. He's relying on goals. His midfield roles sort of lacked off in the last couple of weeks. He's relying on goals to get good scores, but he's still getting it done. So if you're looking to trade him in, I would hold, as his role's not there at the moment. So his scoring will go down in the next couple of weeks. Don't expect an 80 from him every week. But if you do have him, definitely hold him. Don't look to trade him. He's been great. Bailey Smith was poor. So I brought him in. He's gone back-to-back 60s, which is quite disappointing. Hoping he can get an 80 for me this week. Hugh Greenwood, his role's there. He just can't touch the ball. I don't know. He relies on tackles to get points, which is a bit of a shame. 49 is terrible. It's either him or Brayshaw that's going for me this week. I'm not decided on which one yet, but that's that. Buderick 30. That's terrible as well. I don't want to talk about it. Curtis Taylor, 58. Look, that was a good score. I'll definitely take that. A 50 from a rookie, and I'm pretty happy with the score. Max King was alright, 35. He's making a bit of cash. And Kavara and Sturt aren't playing, which is a bit of a problem. But that was my round. As you can see, solid score, 1638. Now, let's go into my trades for this week. So, my team's shaping out like this. So at the moment, I'm looking to trade out Hugh Greenwood or Brayshaw. We've gone with Hugh Greenwood as, it frees up a bit more cash. And now that Fife's out, maybe Brayshaw will slot a bit more into the midfield and score better. But I was looking to bring in Caleb Sarong, as he did have a really solid debut. I'm not sure if he holds the spot or not, but we'll see. If we don't bring him in this week, we probably will bring him next week. We'll just wait and see on that one, actually. But Mitch Duncan, I really like his role in the wing for Geelong. He's scoring 90s, well, equivalent of 90s, so he's scoring 70s every week, which is good. Hayden Young, 313k. He had a really solid round. I think he had about 77, so proves he can score. So we traded out Smith and Greenwood, and then Brayshaw. We traded him out for Simpkin, meaning we hold Connealy. So it was either Connealy to Simpkin or Brayshaw to Simpkin. At the moment, we're going to hold Connealy. We'll see how he goes. But it might be Connealy to Simpkin. But although I do like Andrew Brayshaw to Simpkin. But we'll just wait and see. The other trade I was thinking of doing is getting rid of Mullen Picken and bringing Sarong. But that does mean I can't get in Jai Simpkin, and I'll have another trade that I'll have to work out. So those are my trades for this week. I'm hoping I can have a solid round. In terms of captaincy, the VC will probably have to go in Bajir Hooley, as he's the only player playing. But captain, I might go with someone like Brodie Grundy or even Lachie Neale, although I think they'll set a target on him. So we'll probably go Brodie Grundy again, and then we'll have to VC on Bajir Hooley. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next week.